Welcome to the Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly podcast, your no-nonsense guide to the markets. Whether you're watching us live at sktrading.live or listening on your favorite podcast platform, we've got you covered. Subscribe, join the community, and get ready to dive into real talk and real market insights. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, I'm Stephen Kalayjian, and welcome to the Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly. Well, the S&P and Nasdaq futures were down on the day, but I'll tell you, I'm exhausted. And it's Thursday. One more day to go. And I'll tell you right now, the patterns were absolutely amazing today. Really, right out of the gate. I'm telling you, there were probably 4 to 5 phenomenal patterns using the bigger time, the 15s and the 30s, that were absolutely amazing. I'm telling you, really, in all honesty, I feel very blessed and humbled that the good Lord gave me the ability to build what I spent nearly 10 years of my life building, so I can give back to each and every one of you. I'm telling you, I love this game. I really do. And there's nothing greater than at this stage of my life to be able to guide and educate you and teach you the software so you guys can fish on your own one day. You know, my phone's been blowing up here. People saying it's clicking. I got it. Some people are a little struggling. Everybody learns differently. But to be fair, I'm completely transparent. I would say that the majority of people are getting it and learning. I have new people each and every day, and it's just a process. It's a process of the passion to want to learn and being able to guide you and listen and understand what I'm teaching and to be proactive. I'm not a mind reader. I tell people all the time, I am not a mind reader. Okay. I need to know what you're struggling with. Ask questions in the Discord. I can't give investment advice, but just be able to understand, why is this happening? Why are you calling this short in MSTR or Coinbase? Or why are you looking to call longs? Ask. And I'm, as with slow, at times I show the pattern, what I'm looking for, and the divergence patterns and so on and forth. So again, really blessed to be here. So many new people coming to my community on my new website, sktrading.live. I'm really super excited about it. Whether you want to learn to trade futures, or if you're futures traders, stock trading, ETF, index futures, commodity futures, it doesn't make a difference. You know, it's really amazing. The volatility's here again. Even though it seemed like a really kind of slow day, the moves were wild, right? All right, so let me just get right into it here. So the first thing we did this morning, right out of the gate, and I'm going to bring up the S&P futures here on the 60-minute time frame. All right, bring up the S&Ps here on the 60. So this is the morning session right here. We pushed. So first of all, coming into the day, yesterday I said that the dailies were getting a 95 overbought reading on the daily S&P futures with the negative MACDs on the weekly. And I said, when you get an overbought condition on the indicator 3 on my dailies, right, into the negative MACD on the weekly, and I'll show it to you here on the weekly, that it's a remedy for a big drop. Okay, so this is what I was looking for here, and I'll bring up the daily really quickly. And my target on the S&Ps were 57.80 and then 58.30, and look at the high, 58.37. That was my second. The third was 58.50, and my fourth was 58.80. This is the short right here. We had a 96 overbought reading into the negative MACD on the weekly. The weekly is negative, and look what we did. We dropped down to 57.20. Now, the good thing about this is we filled this gap here at 57.23 3/4 with today's low of 57.20. Again, what I'm looking for here is when you see the positive MACDs like this and the algorithm still bullish, 56.11. I don't think we get there. I think we push down here, we push up, and we just continue to do this until these MACDs on the weekly get below the pivot on both the blue and the yellow, and then base anywhere between the next 6 to 12 weeks. I think we should make some type of a bottom here. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at there. All right, so the pattern today, I'm going to just explain, was the first pattern was the push down, and I was only looking for a 25 handle rally, 820 to 25 from the lows of 57.20. I was looking maybe 50, 57.38, 57.45, maybe 57.48, right? We went all the way up to 75. It was crazy. It was absolutely wild. Okay. Great couple triple Lindy's, great couple patterns along the way. I mean, so many great patterns today. Again, I only do like a 30-minute podcast every single day. Let me just get right to it and show you what I was looking at. So if you look at the S&P futures here on the 60-minute time frame, actually, I was really proud. A couple of people in my community actually picked this up as well. When you made the new low here, you can see 57.20. You can see that the MACD is to non-confirm the low. Monster long. Now, did I think they were going to get up to 57.78 and 3/4? No. That's 58 handles on the upside. I didn't think that was going to happen at all. I didn't think that was going to happen. Okay. And so basically it was between that, and also there was a 5-minute time frame at that particular time. If I could bring up the 5-minute really quick, going back early in the morning. So this is what I was looking at. I saw that on the bigger time, the 5-minute time frame, the MACDs are not confirm on the 5-minute. And then when I bring up the 60-minute time frame on the S&P futures, I saw this as well. Okay. Now, you're not going to be able to see this on the continuous, on the ETF, but this is what I saw here today. If I make it bigger, you can see that the MACDs are non-confirm on this low. If you saw that, that's a huge buy divergence in a negative trend. Okay, so that was the first one. The second pattern here was the 30-minute time frame. So the S&Ps are pushing up here. You can see, let me just bring up the 60s and put them here. This was an absolute kabushing. Oops, sorry. Okay. So you look left to right, top to bottom. You can see here. Okay. Let me just get to my chart. I apologize here for this. You can see here on this push up. All right. Let's go left to right. The MACDs are negative. This is the 60-minute time frame. It reversed yesterday at 3:30 on the close. So the 60 and the 15 were in sell mode. Okay. And the S&Ps were running 70, 57, 75, 77, 78, 79, 8, whatever. And people in the live channel were like, Steve, when is this thing going to drop? I said, you got to trust the work. You're getting overbought into the negative MACD on the 30. You're getting overbought into the negative MACD on the 60. This is the first bounce on the 30-minute time frame after the 60-minute time frame reversed the sell, right? And look what happened. Boom. Look at them drop. Nearly 40 points on the S&Ps, all the way down to the 57.33 level. Again, this is a monster pattern, a monster short. Spiders, Qs, everything lined up. Now, if I bring up the 30-minute time frame, you can see we're negative on the 60 and we're negative on the 30. But what happened here, the 15s reversed to sell. I'm sorry, 15s reversed to buy. But it's okay because you're taking this overbought condition. So now you have what's called a sell divergence in a sell disconnect. The 60 and the 30s are negative, the 15s bullish. I don't really care about the 15s being bullish, especially that the 60 just reversed to sell yesterday at 3:30. You take the short, and then it got kabooshed. Now, today, when the 15-minute time frame reversed to sell, today, it correlated with the 30 and the 60. What do you look to do? You take the first bounce on the 15-minute time frame. We caught this monster short. Look at this drop. They dropped 30 handles on the S&P. The spiders dropped, actually 35. The spiders dropped $3.50. This is an unbelievable pattern. Based on pure mathematics, this was the short on the 30-minute, okay, the 15 and the 30 were getting overbought after the 60-minute time frame reversed to sell. Then on the push down here, the 15-minute time frame right here reversed on indicator 4, and it correlated with the 30 and the 60-minute. What do you look to do? You wait for the first bounce on the 5. the second bounce on the 15, and look what happened. Absolutely kabooshed. And then there was a short here at the end of the day, right around the 340. S&P futures were trading above 70, had a nice short on that as well, and they got kabooshed at the end of the day. All right. Again, beautiful pattern. Let me show you the QQQs here. I'm just going to bring this up right here just so you can see the Qs are negative on the, let me just type this up here. The Qs are negative on the 60-minute, okay, negative on the 30-minute, okay, and then I'll switch this to the 15, okay, boom, right here. Here's the 15, and then I'll show you the pattern on the 5-minute. After the 15 correlated right here at 12 o'clock with the 30 and the 60-minute time frame, you look to take the first bounce here on the 5-minute right here. Actually, this was it. I apologize. This is the first bounce on the 5-minute right here at 12:25, right? You can see the 15 reverse to sell. You take the first bounce on the 5-minute. Qs were trading 485.48. And you can just see if you take the high 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bars. Look at this. 45.48, 48.81.79. Dropped more than roughly about close to $3.5, almost $4 there. Okay, about a little over about 380. Okay, beautiful. And then when the 5-minute time frame reverses the sell, you take the short here, 43 and change, boom, about $1.40. So again, when the 5-minute time frame reverses the sell and it correlates with the 15, 30, and hourly, you take the first bounce on the 5 getting overbought into the negative MACD, right into the near the 10-bar weighted moving average. Again, another great short. These patterns were phenomenal today. Okay, I have to really tell you. Look at the GLDs today. I'll bring up the 30-minute time frame. Beautiful pattern on the 30 and the 15. Now, you would not have seen this pattern. Okay, here's the 15 getting oversold. This is the first pullback on the 15 after the 15, 30, and 60-minute reverse to buy. Look at this positive MACD, the size of the Atlantic Ocean. Look at the rising ADX here on the 30. And you had the rising ADX on the 60. What happens? You buy the first pullback on the 30-minute time frame. Look what the GLDs did. Boom. $10. That's a $10 move in gold. $10 to the upside in gold. Gold was trading, I believe, like the 89.5, 90, and it shot up 10. These are phenomenal patterns, everybody. Phenomenal patterns. Getting oversold into the positive MACD by divergence number 1. Oversold into the monster buying pressure, positive divergence number 2. Oversold into the rising ADX, positive divergence number 3. You want to talk about a Picasso? Well, there's another Picasso. Put it on the wall. There it goes, right there. These are monster patterns. And so when you see a pattern like that, okay, this is an absolute Picasso. I couldn't believe it even got that oversold into a positive MACD. Look, I mean, this is just, I'm speechless. It's just unbelievable pattern. Remarkable pattern. Okay. And so when you see patterns like this throughout, and on a 30-minute, it's just unbelievable in what you're seeing here. Okay. So again, the 30-minute time frames, okay, were the key today around the 11:30, 12 o'clock time frame. The 15-minute time frames reversing to sell, okay, correlating, shorting the first bounce on the 5, then the second bounce on the 15. Even at the end of the day, there was a good short around 3:15. S&P futures were trading around the 57.70, Nasdaq above the 20,125. I said, let them have them. Where you going? You're in a negative trend here on the 30 and 60, and the overbought conditions on the 15, and they dropped from high to low about 30 again. The volatility is here, everyone. All right, and it's just really unbelievable to focus on just taking the same names every single day. And I teach how these patterns repeat themselves each and every day, and it really is truly remarkable in how people are really learning this. And it just gives me the greatest joy to be able to explain this, Tesla, pretty wild today. I'll show you this pattern, okay? You see Tesla today, I was like shaking my head at times, okay? Tesla on the 60-minute time frame is making new highs, and where are they going? Where are they going? Look at the Tesla, 291.85. That guy he jumped, whoever bought Tesla up there. You see that? Look at this. The MACD's non-confirmation on the MACD's here, making new highs. This is absolutely insane. Insanity. All right. Look at Nvidia, monster shorts all day in Nvidia. 60-minute reverse to sell from yesterday. The 30's in sell mode, right? Boom. I already know the trend is negative. Here's the bounce on the 30-minute time frame. 114.30. This is exactly when everything's up. 11:30, 11:15, 11:30. You blinked and Nvidia was trading about $2.50 lower. And here's the 15-minute time frame. This, even though the algorithm reversed to buy, right? Even though the algorithm reversed to buy, you went from a sell trend on all three time frames to a sell disconnect. You take the short right here. This is where we were shorting Nvidia above 14.10. And then look what happened when the 15 reverses sell again. You take the other short. I know it was late in the day, but this is the pattern at 3:30, 12.97. And you can see the drop in Nvidia, 12.97, dropped about $1.70. Okay, again, the 15-minute time frame reversed to sell, and then it correlated with the 30 and 60. You take the first short on the 5 and the second bounce on the 15-minute time frame. It really is such a great joy to be able to, such a day when these patterns were so pure and they were just really unbelievable as far as just trading the market and understanding exactly what's going on. For me, there's no greater joy and no greater gift than to be able to teach each and every one of you, to guide you, like I stated, and to be able to see you all. I mean, some of the P&Ls that people were showing me today, I was just completely flawed. And it gave me such great joy that, that basically that I stand here all day long, practically. And then, I go out here or there really quickly, get some water, get some coffee, went to the doctor today, but, whatever, to be able to teach each and every one of you. This is something that gives me a lot of joy, okay? And I'll tell you that the patterns today were just unbelievable. And I'm so grateful to be able to capture these patterns in live markets and now share them with you tonight so you can see exactly what I was doing. Number one, the buy divergence on the opening. After we got the push down at 9:45, they ricocheted right back up. Boom, the 11:15, 11:30 time frame after the 60-minute time frame reversed to sell. It correlated right yesterday at 3:30. You look to short the bounce on the 30-minute time frame. Everybody was saying, Steve, when are they going to drop? 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 I said, got to trust the pattern. You got to trust the pattern. 79, 78 3/4, 71, 65, 64, 60, 57, 55, 50, 48, 44. It got kabooshed. It got kabooshed. 15-minute time frames, reverse to sell on the Qs and the spiders. You short the first bounce, it correlates with now on the third, it correlates with the 30 and the 60-minute. You short the first bounce on the 5, the second bounce on the 15. Pattern, boom, beautiful pattern on that, 12:30. Okay, and then another great short at the end of the day. So my research shows me that you'll get anywhere from 4 to 6 great trades a day on the 5-minute time frame on the stocks and ETFs. Continuous contracts, futures contracts, will get anywhere between 12 and 18 a day. More data, more different types of patterns because of the data is expanded to 23 plus hours in a day versus the underlying ETFs and stocks 6.5 hours in a day. And then you had MSTR, great trading stock. And you could trade the MSTUs for that, okay, if you like, or you could trade the MSTZ. So again, here it is, right? You can see the 15s here. This is the opening up into the negative MACDs on the 30. You can see the 30s were already coming in to sell from yesterday. I'll switch this to the 15. Okay, the 15-minute time frame. You see this is the push up here at 10:45 Once the 15s reverse to sell, you can see then correlated with the 30-minute time frame. Still, the 60 is still bullish. And then you take the first short on the 5-minute. Let me just switch this over a little bit to the 5. And this was exactly here. This was around 12 o'clock. You can see this is the bounce here on the 12, 27.20. It dropped about 5. And then here's the killer trade right here. This is the killer right here. The 60 reverse to sell right here at 3:30. What you look to do, you take the bounce on the 15-minute time frame, because the 60 then correlated with the 30-minute time frame. And then you can see here, like I said, at 1:30, you take the short right here on the 15 right here, 27.83, 28.5, and then it dropped to 22 at the end of the day. Again, the 60-minute time frame correlated with the 30. Okay, the 15 reversed to sell. Now all three time frames are aligned into a negative trend. You short the first bounce on the 5-minute and the second bounce on the 15. These patterns were absolutely amazing today. I'll tell you right now, absolutely amazing. Coinbase. What else? We had Apple reverse to buy. Some great longs in Apple. Believe it or not, Apple bucked the trend today. But overall, you still have, like I said, on the bigger time frames, those MACDs are positive. So we filled the gap. The next gap is about 150 handles, maybe 160 handles lower. I don't know if we're going to get there. When you have positive MACDs like that on the daily, and you have my algorithm reversing to buy, there's a lot of underlying support here now. So again, what I like to see happen is we get a flush down, a push back up. Okay. I don't think that weekly is going positive. You need to have the S&Ps trade above 60. What was it? 60.79. We're 57.43 just to get the weekly charts to reverse to buy. That ain't happening right now. Okay. I think it's going to happen probably in the next anywhere from 4 to 10 weeks, 12 weeks. Yes, I think we go back up to 6,500, but I don't see it now. Okay. All right. When I come back, I'd like to tell you and explain to you what I'm hoping and I think is going to happen tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow, Friday, thank God it's Friday, we are going to be at 8:30. There is a PCE number, pretty big number. Okay, now the last one didn't really do much per se. Okay, but I'll tell you the most important thing is that it could be a surprise. Up or down, obviously, right? Here's what's going to happen. If we do push down, okay, I want to see if we're going to get any type of extreme oversold conditions here on the 30 and 60-minute time frames. If we do get any push up here, just to give you a reference point, we close on the Qs at 481.61. In order to get the Qs to reverse to buy, on the 60-minute time frame, the biggest time frame of the three, obviously, we need to take out the 490.18. So we're roughly about $8.50 away, $8.50 away. That's a monster move on the Nasdaq. On the spiders, 474.30 or 574.30. It's been a long day. 574.30 on the 60 is the buy reversal. Right now we're 569.5. Okay, so we're roughly about 45 handles from the reversal. So the S&Ps would probably have to take out like the 57.90. Okay, something like that. Okay, so can it happen? 45 handles, no problem. Okay, but again, that weekly chart is a monster problem for the markets to going forward, okay? And as I stated a couple of days ago, my first target was 57.80, then 58.30. The high yesterday was 58.37. And the next target was 58.50 and 58.80. And had they gone up there, I think they would have dropped a lot further than just filling that gap today. But we filled that gap at 57.23 3/4. Again, I think there's going to be a lot. There was so much activity here in the opening this morning in Nvidia, in Palantir, in Meta, Microsoft, Amazon. But again, you do have some big buy divergences right now on the bigger time frames. So let's just see what happens tomorrow. What I tell everybody, you trade what you see, and that is really important. All right. So with that being said, that's it really. I'm looking if they trade a lot lower tomorrow and we get deep oversold conditions on the 30 and 60, I'll be looking to buy them. And again, we're still in a negative trend, so they got to be just like super single digit lows for me to even think of some type of a rally. And if we get any type of bounces tomorrow, well, let's see what happens with the 60-minute time frame. If it's going to get overbought and then drop, or is it going to get a buy reversal? So again, that PCE number is going to be a very big number. All right. When I get back, I want to tell you about this type of strategy that I think a lot of people are shifting to, and why stay away from an asset that I'm not really comfortable with, but also another way to trade the market when the patterns are right. Okay, a lot of people have been coming to me and asking me, Steve, I'm really struggling with options. I don't know futures that well. I'm like, okay, I went over this a couple of days ago. I think futures to me is the greatest asset. I really do. It's one asset, S&P futures. In my opinion, you don't have to trade the Nasdaq, the S&P. It's one index, S&P or Nasdaq. That's it, or the Russell or the Diamonds, the YMs or the RTYs. But to me, the S&P futures, to me, is the greatest asset. One asset, boom, you go click, 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 you trade them, boom, you try to make your goal of 10 handles a day, and that's that. I really, again, my first trade I ever did, and my second trade I ever did was options. I bought American Can 50 calls, and then I went right into Merrill Lynch after I covered my options for 3-4 months later. But, I hear people all the time saying, I'm buying the June calls, I'm buying the May calls, I'm buying the July calls. I'm like, what? I'm like, the premium on these things just get eroded along the way, and the weekend comes, forget about it. To me, it's not something I would do. The only time I've traded options in the last year and a half is if I see a stock like an MSTR that had big premium because the stock was moving 15, like today. Stock moves, right? Moves up 20, up 16, up 20, down 5, down 10, down 18, whatever. That's a type of stock that, in my opinion, I like to, not saying you, I would look to sell premium 1 to 2 weeks out. That's it. High up. And when MSTR was flying some 7-8 months ago, the premium on some of these options for 2 or 3 weeks out were like, 60 points up from the last sale on the strike, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, $80. So every Friday they came around, I go like this, and then on Monday, the premium shrunk, right? So for me, I think it's important to pick the right asset, okay? And a lot of people struggle with options, especially what we do here, because as I'm calling a long or a short in a name, they're going to the strike price and trying to figure out the strike. Either you could trade the stock, in my opinion, or look to trade. Like today, for example, when I thought there was a big buy divergence and I said it, or when the spiders were getting overbought on the 30-minute time frame on the Qs at 11:15, 11:30, that's a place potentially where you can then look to sell calls or buy puts or whatever. But to try to intraday trade options, to me, is not the right move. That's for me. That's not something I would do. I would trade, like I said, the futures, or like I traded nearly 2 billion shares in my life, so trading stocks is not a problem. And then what I want to lead into, is when the patterns are right. Okay, when the patterns are right, it is important to know how to size up the pattern, right? Okay, how to size up a trade, whether you're trading index futures, commodities, futures, or stocks or ETFs, right? So today, for example, the 30-minute time frames was the first bounce on the 30-minute time frame on the Spiders, Qs, and Russell after the 60-minute time frame reversed to sell. So I said, this is the first bounce on the 30-minute after the 60s reversed to sell yesterday at 3:30. People on my live channel, people on my Discord, Steve, I see this. When is it going to drop? You got to let the pattern play out. Give it a little time. Well, within, 90 minutes, they dropped, okay, on the 30-minute time frame. So my point is learn the patterns, okay? Learn how to size it up, okay? And for me, that's really important. If you hear me say the word scalp long or scalp short during the day, it may not be your style, but I got guys who like to scalp in and out, 1 to 2 handles, 1 to 3 points, 20, 30, 40 cents on a stock, 50 cents on a stock. That is something that you need to focus on, okay? Trade what you see, get comfortable with a style. And when I see a pattern like today, when the Qs reverse to sell on the 15 and the spiders reverse to sell on the 15, and it correlated with the 30 and the 60, well, the 120 pattern, boom, beautiful short, boom, 120 Qs, Nasdaq futures. Qs went from 43.5 all the way down to like the 41,670, dropped $1.80. Okay, S&Ps dropped 18 on that. I think it was 15 to 18. That's a pattern. Know how to size up the trade. The second short, boom, 210, 220 on the 15, dropped. Okay, I'm sorry, about the 240, dropped, boom, on the 15. Okay, so again, learn how to size up a trade, and you gotta, like I stated, believe in the pattern. Believe in the pattern. Believe in what I'm teaching you. All right. Okay. With that, thank you everybody for joining me tonight on the Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly. Please look at my website, join my community, sktrading.live. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, leave a comment. Please follow me on my social media at Steve Kalayjian, at official Steve Kalayjian, or at Steve Kalayjian on X and Instagram, and also on TikTok at official Steve Kalayjian. Leave a comment, give me a call, 914-500-7484. Again, it's a pleasure to be here. I love being able to talk to so many of you from all over. I had a 3-hour drive each way to visit my friend last night, and I was teaching and I was talking to so many people along the way, and it gave me such a great joy. So again, it's a great privilege to be here, and thank you for joining me tonight on the Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. Be well, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in to the Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly podcast, your no-nonsense guide to the markets. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe at sktrading.live or on your favorite podcast platform. We'd love for you to rate, review, and join our community for more real talk and market insights. Until next time, keep trading and stay sharp.